Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Power Gunner, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some power ideas for Infamous Second Son. So far we know that the powers in the game that we know so far, they are going to be Smoke and Neon. There's obviously going to be a few more, I don't know how many more, but I'm guessing there's going to be a minimum of 5 powers in the game. There'll probably be more than that because they have said that some powers are going to be only good or only evil or something like that. And then there's also Concrete, which is the sort of rock power that the DUP guys use to launch themselves, and they throw some concrete rock things at you. And I'm not sure if Delsin gets that, but I wouldn't really see why not. And also all of these different power types have a kind of different gameplay style to them. Smoke is kind of just the basic kind of fast get in, get out, blow people up and stuff. Then Neon is more of a sort of long distance sniping class. Not sure if I'd say it's exactly stealthy, because Smoke is kind of stealthy too, how you can just move through a fence and then take some guy out from right behind him. And also with Neon you can run super fast, so that might be good for getting away if you're oh no, there's too many enemies here. So I'm kind of wondering about what some of the other powers are going to be. Sucker Punch has said that fans were kind of disappointed with some things in Infamous 2 because they revealed a lot about the game. They showed every single power in the game pretty much before the game even came out. So people kind of didn't have that feeling of surprise, whoa, that was so cool. And I actually agree with that a lot. So they've said that this time around they aren't going to show nearly as much. So I'm guessing with the stuff they showed so far, that's probably only up to halfway or less through the game. So that's something that I actually really like, and I personally don't want them to actually reveal any more powers, but I'm just going to talk about some ideas that I have. Now, they have said that Delsin doesn't really have elemental powers because they're trying to be more original and to come up with some interesting powers that maybe not many or any superheroes and stuff or supervillains have had in anything before. So I'm going to talk about some powers that have been in the past Infamous games, and some new random ideas that could be something that Delsin would have. And he's probably not going to have any sort of elemental powers exactly. He probably won't have water, although he can swim in water, so having something kind of related to water would be cool. So that's our first idea, some water related stuff, although I don't know what it would be. I would think, well, ice or mist. But Mist would be kind of like Smoke, and Ice has already been in an Infamous game, and I don't really think they're going to be bringing back any powers, maybe a few, but if they bring them back, I don't think they'd be ones that Cole had, unless they want to bring back Lightning just so that it could be cool for fans, oh my gosh, Lightning. But yeah, I'm guessing that if you get Lightning, it might be one of the last powers. I think it would be kind of cool, but I do think it's a good idea that they're going in a new direction with coming up with more original power ideas. So just to talk about some previous ones that other characters in Infamous have had before, Alden had Telekinesis, which Cole kind of did with one power in Infamous 2. The one where he'd throw cars and stuff. The Kinetic Pulse, that's what that was called. Then Kessler actually got Time Travel. The story doesn't go into detail of how Kessler got the power of time travel, but it did say that it was his newest and most dangerous power, and that he could only take a one-way trip back in time, so that means that he can't go back to the future once he went back in time. And I'm also guessing that that's only going back in time, not forward, but I don't know if someone became more experienced with that power, if they could maybe do something awesome like freeze time and stuff. So I don't think we're going to get time travel necessarily, because I don't know exactly how that would work in the game. But one idea that I've actually kind of just got thinking about this is maybe there's a power where you just turn on this thing and then it's slow motion for a certain amount of time, so that you have more time to kind of take out your enemies. Or maybe it's only slow motion for everything in the world except for you, you're still in normal motion, so you can kind of in a way move faster and just do things while they're still slowed down. I think that's an interesting idea that would be cool to see, but I'm not sure that they'll do any of these, but I'm just kind of thinking up random kind of original powers that would be really cool to see. One other thing that I've thought of is maybe turning invisible or something like that, which that's not the most original, so I'm not sure if they do that, but some sort of a camouflage thing or some sort of a metamorphosis thing, because Bertrand's power in a way was kind of metamorphosis because he could turn into a giant swamp monster, behemoth thing, whatever you want to call it. One random idea, which this is very random, that I've thought of for a power is, and I literally just get this idea from seeing the bird on the back of Delsin's jacket. I don't know exactly why I got this idea, but I'm just saying I think it would be kind of cool, is maybe you can turn into like a little pigeon and like fly around, and not just glide so that it's different from static thruster type powers, but like actually gain some elevation and fly, and while you're using it, like the enemies don't know that you're Delsin and stuff, and maybe you'll like blend in with pigeons and have fun little pigeon parties with them and stuff. But that's just one idea that I've had, which might be kind of cool for a sort of stealthy approach, and also getting some elevation with flying or like climbing or something. I think that definitely sounds like a cool idea. It's definitely a random idea, but that's what they're going for in this game. Now, one thing that I'm wondering if you can do with concrete, which might be kind of cool, I'm wondering if you can like tunnel under the ground and make tunnels and then come back up. That's kind of like what some of the swamp monsters could do in Infamous 2. And something that they haven't shown in trailers really, and something I've thought about. So when Delsin's using smoke, his chain has like fire on it, right? Well, they haven't really shown like when he's using neon, is his chain like all neon-y or something, and it has something different that it can do. So his melee weapon, which is just a chain that he like wraps around his arm, I'm guessing that it like does different things with different powers. So we could see like a bunch of different kind of melee attacks, which would be pretty cool, I think. So there's definitely a lot of possibilities with the chain of what he could do with that. Alright, and here's one other really random idea that kind of doesn't make sense, but I just thought about this because Delsin is a graffiti artist and he does like spray paint type things, is what if there was a paint power? That's one of the most random things I've thought of, but like, what the heck, like, what if there was? That could use like a lot of particles. They're kind of going for that too, with using a lot of cool graphic-y particles with the powers. I have no clue what it would do to hurt people, but I thought the same thing about smoke and neon when they first said what those were, so who knows? Now, one thing that they have actually talked about is how you swap powers. Now, it's not like Infamous 2 where you open up a little side menu and you like press buttons to change what kind of like bolt and blast and nades type of things that you had. Now it's a lot more simple, and I think this will actually work out really well for the controls and stuff. So say that you're using smoke and you want to switch to using your neon powers, then all that you have to do is drain some neon, and then you're using neon. Then if you want to use smoke, drain some smoke. So it's pretty simple and it makes sense. So I think that that's a really good way to swap powers, just by draining. One thing that does cancel out though is using some sort of power combos, like hit someone with a smoke bolt, then do a neon dash, and then do a orbital drop on them. So you won't be able to really do that, but I think that the powers within a certain power type will work well together based on what they've been saying about the game, and I think that's just such a better controller like layout thing than Infamous 2, kind of, with how you just drain to switch to that power and you don't have to go into any menu or anything. It just will make the gameplay way faster and more fun, I think, and in my opinion. Now, one thing to think about with coming up with new power ideas is, so far with neon and smoke, well, both of these things can be drained from something in Seattle. So these new powers, there's probably going to be something around Seattle that we can drain it from, and see, Seattle has so much water that it kind of seems strange that they wouldn't have a water power, although they're like, well, you know, water's kind of like one of the 4 elements, so I can see why they wouldn't have that, but at the same time it also makes a lot of sense. So I don't know where exactly that's going to be going, but just try to think of things in Seattle that you could maybe drain from and get power juice for. So leave me some suggestions in the comments. I don't really think I have any more ideas, and if I did, I just forgot them for some reason. But yeah, those are just some random ones. Maybe Delsin can turn into a giant chicken and throw eggs at people. Who knows? But anyways, just think up of some random powers, leave them in the comments, and maybe I'll talk about it in one of my future videos. So thank you guys for watching, and goodbye! Yay!